Okay, this is XS4006, how to coach a power clean. I've got my client here, Zach. Zach, just explain a little bit about yourself and if you've got any occurring injuries for today.
Good morning, my name is Zach Wilkinson and Robson is my PT. I do actually have a right knee injury at the moment from a recent 10K, but I've mentioned that before the PT session started.
So, as part of your warm-up, what I want you to do is you're going to perform 3 rounds of 5 RDLs, 5 barbell rows, and something called a front rack opener or back rack opener. So, have you done a back rack opener before?
Not now.
Okay, so all it is, when you pick up the bar, you're going to put it on the back of your head, back of your neck, sorry, and then from there, you're just going to lift your elbows up, help activate your shoulder joint, so then it helps stretches it out, so when it goes to the power clean a little bit later on, you can open up your shoulders a bit more and get that flexion in. So all I want you to do is perform 5 RDLs and 5 barbell rows, and then the back rack opener.
Perfect.
Yeah, keeping that back nice and straight. That's 2. And that's 5. Now all I'm going to do in the same stance, just lean over and do 5 barbell rows. The reason why I'm doing these exercises for you is because we need to help activate your posterior chain, because the clean itself is activating a lot of your posterior muscles, so your rectus spinae, your latissimus dorsi is going to engage your traps, which we'll move on to a little bit later. So we need to activate that posterior chain to prevent further injury, like your knee.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, once you've done those 5, just put the barbell back on the back of your neck, and then from there, all you're going to do is you're going to, from where your elbows are now, you're just going to lift them up to try and stretch out your deltoid and your trap to help get your elbows up as high as you can.
You definitely tell you've got better mobility than me.
Practice takes time.
Probably feel that as well.
But along with that, your job is very office-based, but you also came from a construction background, so you don't have the same kind of mobility as I would do from my background.
Okay, Zach, so as part of the second round, it's going to be the same thing again. So you're going to do 5 RDLs, 5 rows, and then you 5 back rack openers. But with those second lot 5, what I want you to do is you dip down a little bit. In a way, you're bracing like you would do on a power clean, just getting that rack opening, but keeping that slightly bent hinge back. If it's putting too much pressure on your knee, go back upright and do the same again.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good form. Your back's nice and straight. You're activating those lats. And one more. There we go. Now what you need to do is put on the back of your head. If it helps to open up your hands a little bit more to get more of an angle, lifting your elbows up. Now all I want you to do is, if it's not too much pressure, just dip down a little bit and then just open up those shoulders. So,
Your mobility is always better than mine.
so we just need to try and force it back a little bit. If you do that 5 more times, just relax and then go again.
Yeah.
Over time, the more it's warmed up, the more outward stretching you can do. Okay, now you can put the bar down. What we'll do, we'll add some weight onto it and do the final round, helping these muscles. Okay, so what I noticed in your warm-up, your shoulders don't have the same range of motion as I was like. So all we're going to do, we're going to help activate those shoulders. So we're just going to do some simple arm rotations. You can do it with me if you want. So you're just going to start with one arm first, help open it up, get it nice and high, and push it as far back as you can before bringing it back down. So you're going to do that 5 times each arm, backwards, and then we're going to do the reverse forwards. Yeah, opposite way, so same in reverse, just bring it back as far as you can before you bring it back up to the top. Because what we want to achieve is a bit of a stretch on your anterior and posterior deltoid. Yeah, there we go. And now same on the other side, so you're going to do it 5 backwards first. When you get to the top, just push it as far back as you can before bringing it back down.
You can definitely feel that stretch as well.
As I said before, it might be the case of, because of your construction background, you don't have the same kind of range of motion as you would like to have done.
Yeah.
Or if you were in a different job where you're in sport, for example, you would have a bit more range of motion.
Absolutely.
But that's not always the case. Now the last one I want you to do to help activate the rotating cuff is you're going to start with the arm 90 degrees, so you can do it with me, we're going to do both arms. And then from there, all you're going to do is rotate them out as far as you can, and then bring them back in. What normally would happen, we'd have a resistance band to help really engage the muscle, but for now, just to like help activate it and just warm it up a little bit, we'll just do it without the resistance band.
I can feel that as well.
Yeah, so what you want to try and achieve is a bit of a tension here on the part of your rear shoulder.
I can definitely feel that.
Okay, so once you've done 5 of those, you get a bit of rest, and then we'll do another round of all of them. So 5 back, 5 forward on both arms, and then the rotators. Okay, Zach, so there's a couple of stages to go through in terms of doing the power clean. So some people tend to go from top down, but what we're going to do, we're going to go from bottom up, because that's what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to do the deadlift part first. So it's just about going through the motion. We're not putting any weight on due to your knee injury just yet. So all I want you to do is step up to the bar, get yourself into the deadlift position, grab hold of the bar, and then you're just going to perform 5 reps of the deadlift. If you are struggling with your knee, just take a break, and then we'll work on that adaptation.
Thank you.
So for now, just pretend that there's some weight plates on there, so you're not going to be going all the way down to the floor, where you're going to be down here, you're just going to stop just around mid-level of your shin.
Perfect.
There we go. How does that feel? How's your knee feeling?
It's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay, take a break. So in terms of the range of motion of your knee, how much range of motion have you got?
It's starting to get better.
Okay.
Still a little bit of pain there, but in terms of the range of motion, these exercises, it's manageable.
Okay, Zach, so we've done 2 sets of 5 on that exercise. All we're going to do, we're going to progress it a little bit further, and we're going to do 2 sets of the same, but we're going to incorporate the shrugging motion into it. So all I want you to do is get yourself prepped into the deadlift position, and then when it gets up to your waist, all I want you to do is to attempt to go on your tiptoes and shrug into the bar. Yeah. How's that feeling on your knee? Okay. If you are feeling any discomfort, all we're going to do, we're going to limit the range of motion on it to prevent further injury. So it's called the sympathetic range. not sympathetic range, sorry, the symptomatic range. So it'll just be how much range of motion you've got without any discomfort, but as soon as you feel that discomfort, just let me know.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so back down, up to your hips, and then shrug into it. There we go. Okay, so once you've done your 5, rest. The reason why I'm doing 5 is because we want to get the technique down right, so the more repetitions you do, the easier it is to become more acquainted with the exercise. But you're still developing your rate of force development if we were to put weight on initially, but over the next couple of weeks we'll reduce that, so it's like 2 reps or 3 reps where we get the maximum amount of force into it, and then the rate of force development will skyrocket. So until your knees fully healed, we'll just focus on the technique for now, and then at the end of the session, if we're comfortable, we'll add a small amount of weight on and perform the full thing. Okay, Zach, so we've done the bottom half of it, now we're just going to focus on the top half of the technique. So, what your starting position for it is going to be at your hips, so at the top of the deadlift, and then all you're going to do is you're going to do just a power clean from the top. So from here, you're going to do an upright row, and then just flick your elbows underneath and rest it on the top of your shoulders. That is the top half of it. This section will come after you come up and you thrust into it and shrug your shoulders, then you upright row and then dip to catch. But we're just going to focus on the upright row and then the catch at the top. So if you get yourself into position for me, we're going to do the same thing again, 2 rounds of 5. On the second round, I'll go into a little bit more detail a little bit later, but you'll be dipping into it. So you're just going to focus on the upright row and then the catch. Okay, that's not too bad, but we'll focus it a little bit slower. So you imagine doing the upright row, so you get your elbows up nice and high, and then you're going to flip them under and catch it.
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
There we go. You see, you've already naturally adapted to the dip.
I didn't realize I was doing that into so.
It's okay, just if it happens, it happens. We focus on the upright row and then the catch.
Perfect.
There we go. So that's 3, 4, and 5. If you want to put the bar down for a sec. How is your knee pain on a scale of 1 to 10? Like 10 being like excruciating pain, you can't do anything anymore, and 1 is like you natural.
We're probably at a 4.
Okay.
Maybe as weight increases, it might rise a little bit higher at that point.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's manageable, and the warm-ups have really helped.
Okay, so when it comes to the performing the full technique, we'll just do the same thing again. We'll just practice on the bar first, and then when you're confident enough, we'll add a small amount of weight. We'll probably add the 5s on, just so it's like a 30 kilogram, and then over the next couple of weeks, when your knee gets a little bit better, we'll then add more weight on to increase rate of force development.
That's great, thank you.
Okay, so all you do now is get back into that position where the bar is at your hips, and now, like before, upright row, but instead of just letting it land on your shoulders, you're going to dip into it, so you're going to pretend to catch it. There we go. If it's putting too much pressure on your knee, revert back to the first set. So when it dips, try and do the dip as you get into the upright row, and then dip to swing your elbows under. There we go. That's a more natural looking catch, because what you've been doing is coming up and then let it drop and then dipping.
Yeah.
What we want is for it to come up and then you to dip to catch. So do 1 more rep of that. Okay, and then take a rest. And then we'll do it 1 more time, just like as fluid as we can. Okay, Zach, so what we're going to do now, we've done the top half and the bottom half now. What we're going to try and do is put them all together. How's your knee doing at the minute?
A little bit more painful.
Okay.
Pushing from a 5 to a 6, but still manageable.
Right, okay, so in terms of doing the full thing, again, we're going to start from the bottom up.
Yeah.
So you're going to perform the deadlift portion, you're going to go into shrug, and then upright row to catch, and back up. If it's putting too much pressure on the knees, we'll revert it back and we'll break it down again. So we might have to do, just from here, do a partial hang clean, down to your knees and up.
Yeah.
That way, but that'll be something a little bit later on.
Perfect.
If we can do the 3 sets of 5,
Yeah.
then perfect.
Amazing.
Right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yes, get yourself in position. Your starting position should be just a little bit off the ground in the deadlift position, but again, if it's putting too much pressure on your knees, we'll adapt it a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit janky, but we'll put it on the issue of your knee.
Yeah.
But try and get a little bit smooth, even if you have to slow it down a bit,
Yeah.
and just focus on the top half.
More janky.
It is a little bit janky, but over time,
Yeah.
it'll get a little bit better. So when you're doing the pull, just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're going to slow down, but then you're trying to go as fast as you can up, which eventually down the line is what we want.
Yeah.
Because we want to help improve your rate force development, or your RFD, sorry. But for now, due to your knee injury, we just have to slow it down a bit, so just focus on the technique rather than how fast you can pull it.
Perfect.
There we go, so that's 3. If you do 2 more, I'll let you just concentrate on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and have a rest. So for the next couple of sets, we'll just work on doing it a little bit more smoothly.
Yeah.
But again, if your knees start acting up, we'll adapt it, so we'll start from the knees rather than the shins.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, Zach, so we're on our final set now. We've added 5 kilograms on either side, so it's now 30 kilograms. How's your knee feeling?
It's around about the same as I mentioned before.
Okay.
5 maybe to 6. Just a little bit. I'm probably concentrating more a little bit on minimising the pain.
Yeah.
I am the movement. I recognise that, but I am feeling ready for this.
Right. So that's what we're going to focus on. So we still need to minimise the pain that you got on your knee, but we still want to help increase your rate force development. So all we need to do is just perform this last set of 5, and then we'll go on to a cool down and we'll do some rehabilitation work a little bit later.
Amazing.
So when you're ready, just get yourself in position. It's a little bit higher off the ground now, so you don't have to worry about getting it down to your shin. It's going to be slightly underneath your shin, but you can start from the floor and focus on the technique.
Amazing.
Okay, nice. So over the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll help increase the weight a little bit at a time. So we might increase like 1.25 kilograms each week, just to prevent further injury in the knee until you feel ready, and then we'll ramp it up a little bit more, and we'll reduce the amount of sets and reps to 3 sets of like 2 or 3 reps, maybe even increase the sets to 4 or 5. Just so we can help develop your strength and your force output, but that'll be over the next coming weeks.
No, that's fantastic.
Okay, Zach, so just a couple of things to go through. So we're just going to help relax the muscles. We'll do a bit of a stretching routine. So thank you for leaning up against the wall. All I want you to do is just put your legs flat on the floor, point your toes up to the sky. So if you bring your legs together, and all I want you to do is nice and slowly just stroke your hands across your legs and just lean as far out as you can. But bear in mind, with your knee, you might feel a bit of discomfort towards your feet. So only go as far as you can. And you're going to hold it for 3 seconds and then relax and repeat that 3 times. Okay, now what I want you to do is move them out so they're on a 45-degree angle, flat on the floor. There we go. Now you're just going to focus on one at a time. So you're just going to reach over and try and touch one of your toes. You hold that for 3 seconds, and then you alternate that with the other foot for 3 seconds, and you'll do both sides twice. Okay, and the last one, you just stand up for me. All I want you to do is put your hands slightly behind you. We're going to help stretch out the deltoid, and all you're going to do is take a step forward and try and get your shoulder as close to the wall as you can, whilst keeping your hand where it is. You should be able to feel it stretch here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you're going to hold that for 3 seconds, then you'll relax, and then you'll do it again for another 3 seconds. And then all I want you to do after that second set of 3 seconds is just swap sides, so you do it facing the other direction. So all we need to do is just get your hand a little bit higher and try and rotate your shoulder this way. So you should be able to feel it now here. So again, relax. And then do another set of 3 seconds.
I can definitely feel the stretch more now. I keep myself straight.
Yeah, so with your shoulders and your chest, the positioning, if your arms behind you, needs to be like quite square onto the next wall over there. Because otherwise, if you just like slightly off, it's not going to stretch it as much as it should. So we just need to twist it and face more of a 90-degree angle to get that deep stretching there, to just like at the end of your session, which in the long run will help increase your mobility. But for now, we just want to stretch it out after we cool down. So, have you got anything to add for the next session?
I'm happy. I think now that we've increased the weight slightly, I'm feeling like my movement's starting to get a little bit better. I'm feeling like more compensating with my knee injury, and I'm really happy with the motions. Thank you.
Well, no, thank you very much for taking part in my session, and then I'll see you next week.